All right. Welcome back, listener, to the Forest Brothers podcast. It's your boy, Munza Kristan, in the cut with my brothers and Kosi and Samson. What's good, brothers? Today, listener, we'll be talking about Liverpool. If you haven't seen yet, Mo Salah came out with a quote. I believe there was an interview done where he says, "I hate the idea that we are underdogs." He believes that they're winning the Premier League this season. And I mean, currently, I can see why they are first in the Premier League right now with at least 8 points ahead. So at this stage, I believe a team that has had that many points kind of is expected to win the whole thing. So and he, so this whole, so yeah, listen, I'm just gonna talk about Liverpool and whether or not they are actually, first of all, underdogs, and secondly, if the Premier League is pretty much theirs. So yeah, but to just say the last time Liverpool won the Premier League was the season, the 2018-2019 season. No, sorry, 2019-2020 season. That's the last time Liverpool won the trophy. That was the COVID season. City came second. So that's Klopp's only title. And the last time they won the Premier League or the trophy before that was the 1989-1990 season. So it had been like 30 years that they had not touched that trophy. So yeah, Mo Salah, I feel like personally that does make you underdogs. Like if you've only won one in the last 30 years, and in the last 4 or 5 years, Liverpool have tried, like they've pushed City to the limits, but still haven't won the thing. And Klopp, I assume, was your best manager. And like, I mean, for me this season, Arne Slot literally just came from your, Netherlands somewhere. I don't know where he was. I don't know where they picked him up from. It's his first season as a coach. Actually, maybe Mangoro, you can let me know. Has there been a coach who wins the Premier League in their first season? Daz? Okay.
Yes.
Well, who was that? Which are some of the coaches that have won the Premier League in their first season?
I think Conte won in the first season. The listeners can correct me if I'm wrong there.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, but it's pretty rare, right? It doesn't happen all the time that a coach wins the Premier League in their first season. So the fact that Liverpool haven't won it since 2020, and they have a new coach. Uh, Also, even their squad, I don't know if their squad has like been strengthened to the point where like these are still some of the same players that Klopp was using um, until before he left, and he couldn't hack it. So I don't know about that, but anyway, let me open up the floor to you boys. And talk about Mo Salah and this underdog, this thing that Liverpool are the underdogs. Yeah, so Mangoro, I'll check it to you first. What did you take about Mo Salah saying this? Like, do you believe that Liverpool are not the underdogs and they actually are very strong contenders, or do you actually feel like, yeah, Brian, like you guys are the underdogs? Just be humble.
Yes, they should certainly be humble. They've been the bridesmaids for the last couple of seasons to Manchester City, who've been the bride, in all honesty, because we've seen them come second, and we've seen the script before. Them go to the top of the league and tell us they're going to win it. And in May, we don't see red ribbons around the Premier League. We see the Man City blue. So all of this talk is just talk as he's doing it. Maybe he's doing it because he's also looking at that this could be his final season or it's the end of the road very soon. But I do have a certain problem. Okay, I just do have a problem with just these players coming out with these quotes. Like to me, that is just not it. Like in my honest opinion, I think what players should certainly be doing is it's simple, do your talking on the field, and then in May you can come out and say, okay, yeah, and say some of these things. But like right now, this probably could age badly. Like if, for example, they don't win the league, or something happens, and maybe he even gets injured, or something happens. To Liverpool, like in essence, because when you think about it, like this thing of players coming out with quotes is just so bad, like honestly, because it doesn't paint a good picture on himself, doesn't paint a good picture on the team, on the club. Because what does that do? It just now elevates the pressure of where the club is now. You just add more pressure to what you're doing. As a club, you should just focus on yourself and just go win the next game. Win the next game. Don't do your talking on the field. Don't come out in the media and start saying some of these things and find people are gonna talk and say you're the underdogs and everything. Don't mind them. Just do your talking. Just do your talking on the field. Show them that you're not the underdogs. Don't come out and say this because now you're gonna put pressure, and then now we're going to see people like Konate trying to shoot from the halfway line when it's a 0-0 game. Because now you've put pressure on the entire team. It's not just you, in essence, you've put the pressure on everyone. Slot thought he was going to get an easy ride into the Premier League. Now he's got this all this pressure now. Now the media is going to be on him and saying Premier League title, this because Salah said this. Salah said this. Now you've introduced so much pressure. That was that was unnecessary. What he needed to do was just keep quiet, let the people talk. Because the other thing is that, which I find that players also confuse a lot with, like, a lot of these things that happen with the media. People will talk whether whether you're not having an interview, whether you have an interview and you have quotes. People will talk. What you should do as a professional is do your talking on the field, and then when the game ends, you get in your nice car, and you go home, and you don't worry about all of this stuff because people will talk regardless. Now you've added fuel to the fire. I'm pretty sure there's some Liverpool teammates that are like, "Yo, fam, you didn't have to do this." Now the pressure is on. Now everyone's looking at us. So, in all honesty, in my opinion, he was not meant to put out any statements or put out any quotes of this nature. He was just supposed to, like, do his talking on the field, and then in May, when he wins the league title, he silences all the haters, silences all the people who are talking. That's the best form of revenge. You're talking the whole season, telling us we're the underdogs, but now come May, we've won the league title. So to me personally, it's not just him; it's just a lot of these people that come out in the media and they make all these outrageous statements. Because then, when we want to hold them accountable, speaking of holding people accountable, referees as well, at the end of the season, remember you said this, and we were justified. We're justified by saying this. So, in all honesty, I'm sick and tired of these statements. I'm sick and tired of Liverpool and their funny things because I don't know, man. Maybe they could win it, maybe they won't. But in all honesty, like, they should stop these statements. What do you think, Samson, like, on this subject of statements?
I just want to point before we get started. I just want to make a correction. I had said 8 points. Sorry, listener. That was my bad. Currently, Liverpool are on 28 points and Man City is on 23. So it's only a 5 point difference. We're in November. And apparently, they're not underdogs. So I just wanted to point that out, that it's a pretty crazy thing to say we are not the underdogs in November. It's only been 11 game weeks, Mo Salah. Like, if you said this in May, or not even May, like in March or April, and you were still 5 points ahead, yeah, okay, sure. That's literally just 2 games Man City wins and 2 games Liverpool loses. And, that can happen. So, anyway, I just wanted to make that correction out there. It's only 5 points difference. And, yeah, it's November. Over to you, Samson.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I believe last season Liverpool were first in December. Arsenal were in third or fourth, and we were 8 points behind them. And within, I think, 2 months, we had not only caught them up, but we had gone 3 points ahead. So, in my opinion, Liverpool still have something to prove. This group of players has something to prove. But to the point of statements, Liverpool does not have a good track record when it comes to making statements in interviews regarding the title race. I remember in 2022, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he was sitting down for an interview, and they asked him, at the time Liverpool was in the running for 4 trophies. They were going to win the quadruple. I'm not sure, you guys remember this. Liverpool winning the quadruple this year. And it was the guy who was being asked, what trophy do you want to win the most? He said all of them. All of them, right? They lost 2 out of the 4 in finals that they were involved in. And yeah, I just think it's too early to. I mean, okay, I will never really go against a player or a fan, a coach believing in their team, because I believe it was, again, this is an old Austin Wenger quote. I got a lot of them for y'all today. He said, "You shouldn't be humiliated by wanting to win, because the biggest humiliation is when you don't give everything you have to try win, as opposed to actually believing you can do it. So I have no problem with them, having the belief, but man, players shouldn't talk during international break, man. Year after year, around this time, players they do interviews and it's just garbage. It's just total and utter garbage that ends up happening because I believe again 3 years ago, Mangora, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but 3 years ago, international break is going on, everyone's chilling, having a good time. All of a sudden, Sky Italia is reporting Romelu Lukaku wants to go back to Italy. Everyone's wondering why the hell is he opening his mouth in Italy for of all places? He just moved back to London. Why is he in Italy anyways? And it's just I don't know what happens with players during the international break. I think they get bored, because they're always so active. You have training, you have games, you're so engaged. International break comes, men are like, what should I do today? I should go do an interview. And it's like, oh man, just go home. Like Mongora saying, go home. There's nothing wrong with going home because guess what? As soon as he comes back from the international break, yes, you play Southampton first, but then guess who you have to play, Liverpool fans? You have to play Real Madrid. Guess who you play after that? Man City. Guess who you play after that? Everton. These are the biggest games of your season. Like, why? Why now? Why? Why not after these games? Why would you speak now? And it's like, again, I respect and I admire the confidence, but man, there's also just a good time for things. And the perfect time for this would have been uh, the start of the new year. You're gonna play some FA Cup games. You're gonna play Capital One. There's like two Premier League games against small teams. Perfect time. Say, yeah, we're the favorites. We're looking good. But come on, man. You're about to have the harshest period during the season. December is like this is the pits for every Premier League club. You play so many games, you're tired, you're confused half the time. Tactics don't even matter anymore. It's just about getting through it. And this is what you say before? Okay, brother. Okay, Salah. Okay. If that's how you want to do it, I mean, more power to you, brother. But yeah, I wouldn't have done this myself. That's all I'll say.
The funniest thing that can actually happen right now is they go to Southampton and they lose. Dibbling scores a screamer in the 76th minute. And we all know the history between Liverpool and Southampton because Liverpool have poached so many good players from Southampton over the years. And yeah, that right there, I will laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh if Southampton actually win that game. And Mo Salah blanks. No goal, no assist. And you could just see, oh my God, the roasting will be elite at that at that point. But as you pointed out, Samson, in the Premier League right now, actually, if we actually look at like what Liverpool's December looks like in the Premier League anyway, they do play Southampton as soon as they come back. They go to City at the end of November. After that, on the 29th, they play Newcastle on the 3rd of December. That game is never going to be easy as well. They play Everton, Merseyside Derby on the 7th of December. Fulham, right after that. Fulham is also like somewhere where you can go and Emil Smith-Rowe can turn up that day. Jimenez can turn up that day. They play Spurs. Who knows what Spurs cook that day, and then Leicester on the 26th of December and West Ham on the 29th, and then Manchester United to start the new year. So, to be honest, some of these games are a little easier than, let's say, Man City's games, because Man City, we've talked about this in other episodes as well, but just like the run of games that, Man City and Arsenal have coming up. But Man City, just because Man City play Tottenham and Liverpool, right after each other, like, yeah. So it's going to be a little difficult for Man City, we have to say. So, yeah, I'm very curious to see how things go with that. But yeah, Liverpool should not be talking too much. But let me talk to Mangoro about this actually. Do you think that is Arne Slot a winner? Like wherever he came from, was he a winner? I don't know much about him. I don't know if the listeners know much about him, but I'm actually quite curious. Do you think Arne Slot actually has the winner's mentality as a coach? Because I don't feel like And Klopp to me was a man who was like, I'm in this. Like, I don't know if Slot is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Slot's like. When shit is getting real, does Slot come out punching? Or does he just, don't hurt me? Like, what does, what, I don't know. I don't know what, but anyway, maybe you can shed some light on that, because he just like, wherever they got Slot from, what's his track record? Does he win trophies? Does he, where was he? All that. I just want to know. Maybe this for me personally, but over to you, Mamor.
So I'll just take you through my knowledge of what Slot has done. He came from Feyenoord in the Eredivisie, where he was coaching Feyenoord, and I think they hadn't won a league in quite a number of years. So he took them to actually being able to win a league. And I think they're in a good position as we speak right now in Eredivisie. So he kind of built up, I'd say, like a regular team to challenge the likes of Ajax, PSV, and the teams alike in the Eredivisie. So, from that track record and from the records and everything that they look at Liverpool, I believe that they saw a winner in him because he did have the league winning pedigree. But the main difference being winning in the Eredivisie and winning in the Premier League is two different ball games. In the Eredivisie, number one, you're playing less games. I think you play between, I'm not sure if it's 30 or 34 games, given that they don't have 20 Premier League teams. And some of the teams, they field part-time plumbers there, uh, in that league. I know with teams like NEC Breda, like I don't know if there's some all those players are fully professional players. Thirdly, the money that exists between the two leagues is a stark contrast. Like the league that he came from is a league where you can literally take the seventh best team and turn them into Champions League ready teams and winning league titles. That's how jolling that league is. And jolling it, for those that don't know, means playing. Like that league is not serious. There's nothing serious about that league. So his track record does say he is a winner in terms of he's won league titles, and I think I don't know if he's won a couple or two out in the Eredivisie. We'll see when he's in the Premier League now. But in all, like he does have that aspect. But in terms of like being able to cope with the pressure, we'll definitely see between December and January with the, as we mentioned, the number of games and especially like the games against City, Arsenal. Like we'll learn more about him. Like when you're playing teams like Brighton and Aston Villa and all these teams that don't matter, like, and you're beating them and you're telling us you're in a title race, like, we need to see you against the top six. Then we can make a full judgment. It would be unfair for us to make a judgment right now if we haven't seen you in the big games. Well, after we see you in the big games and we have a full picture, we can make a judgment. But now we shouldn't make a full judgment on him. There's more to come. I don't count that 3-0. I know Manchester people are thinking of that Manchester United 3-0 that he went and he displayed there. That team was in disarray. Like we can't read anything into that. And then people are gonna say, okay, fine, they played Chelsea. There was referees. They handed them the game as they always do. So, in all honesty, I want to see them in December, January with the sheer number of games. Number one, and secondly, against the big teams. That's when I'll make a clear judgment on Arne Slot. The jury's still out on my side. I don't know what you think, Samson, with the bold man at the wheel.
I also just want to add that Mo Salah is actually an asshole because he knows that this is his last season at Liverpool. Whether or not they win the title, he's leaving. He's not staying. He's going to Saudi to enjoy Saudi money. Like, so I can maybe understand he's sitting there at home. He's like, let me just put pressure on my teammates. We're not underdogs. We're winners because he knows he's really trying to leave the Premier League with a trophy. But anyway, I just wanted to throw it out there that actually I think Mo Salah is kind of being an asshole to his teammates. But over to you, Samson.
Yeah, I'm on a slot. Yeah, like Mangoro said, he has won a league title in the Netherlands. I think he's also won a cup. I believe he was also Europa League runner-up. So not a bad track record. Pretty decent track record. He's currently first in the league. it's looking good. Um, I have liked his game management. I've spoken about this before. I think he tends to play it safe. And like Klopp will be 5-0 up and be chasing five more goals. That's not what this brother does. He tries to score one or two and then he changes it up, and you see Liverpool try to pass the ball more, control the game. These are all good things. But like Mangoro said, we're about to enter December. This is the busiest part of the year. Just the sheer amount of games is, a challenge for someone who hasn't experienced it before. Uh, and not only that, I mentioned it before. Liverpool were in the exact same position they're in right now last season, and they did not, you know, finish the job. So this is a huge challenge. We can't act like, oh, it's done and dusted. No, it's not. Because if Arsenal was in the same situation, and I said Arsenal winning the league, you guys would be asking the same questions of me. You'd be saying Arsenal haven't won in a long time. The players are still unproven. What makes you so sure? We have to ask the same questions of Liverpool. What makes them so sure? Because it's only November. It's a 5 point lead. They have squandered more only last year. So, what has changed over the summer that convinces us that this year is better? We don't know yet. So, all we can do is wait and see. But so far, I will say, to Arne Slot's credit, it's looking good. That being said, you've had a few decisions here go your way as well. I want to like Arsenal has had a lot of decisions go against them. Chelsea's had a lot of decisions go against them. Man City has lost Rodri. I know Liverpool have lost Allison, but Kelleher is just about as good a backup as you can have in this league. Liverpool haven't had their mix of bad luck or refereeing decisions go against them yet. What happens when that happens, and how they're, I know we've spoken about, David Coote, but that's in years before. This season, it's been pretty smooth sailing, in terms of bad things, out of their control that happen. So, I feel like it's too early to say, yeah, Liverpool have got this. We just don't have all the information. So I'm waiting to see how they do in December, January, and yeah, where they're going to end up after that.
And to even add on to that, Liverpool are probably going to get a lot of sympathy points this season, probably because of the whole David Coote situation. Like maybe refs this time, I'm like, let's just hands off Liverpool right now because if any decision is egregious right now, it can be seen as, oh, are you doing this because of your boy David? You know, is this residual resentment on Liverpool still? And then it becomes a really ongoing conversation, but. So this is the best time for Arnie right now. Also, Man City is not doing as well as they should be. We've talked about that. Arsenal are not doing as well as they should be. So this is the best time, but I'm sure these teams will probably get stronger as the time goes on. But yeah, I think that's a good little chat on Liverpool and Mo Salah's comments. I would say that they should be humble. I don't know why he made those comments, but I don't know if Mangori had anything more to add onto this uh, Liverpool situation and their title hopes. But we can always end it here if not. But I'll hand it over to you, Mangoro.
I don't have much to add besides one thing. I have to have a message for Mo Salah since he has a message for people nowadays. Be humble. Be humble, stay humble, and do it for eternity, in all honesty. But all in all, listener, thanks for tuning into the Forest Brothers podcast. Be sure to do the right things. Subscribe to the channel. More content is coming. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thank you. Moresco Way. That's where we're going next.
Anything from you, Samson? Oh, you're good.
No, I think Mongora said it all. Be sure to like, subscribe, and keep following the Forest Brothers for all the exclusive content that we've got coming your way. And, yeah, keep rocking with us, dear listener. We do enjoy having you around and reading your comments and engaging with you guys. So yeah, until next time.
Yazerski, until next time, listener. And with that, thank you so much. Mo Salah, don't forget the message. We will see how you do following this little spell that's gonna come. But with that, listener, thank you so much, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace out.